Welcome to this video. I've got a couple of really curious, interesting things to show you today. This is a compact gas heater and cooker called the Fire Maple Sunflower, and this lantern is called the Krarus CL2. But firstly, a massive thank you for everybody that's donated via BUYMEACOFFEE. I've purchased two of these for the scout group where I'm a leader, and these are going to be really useful for when we're camping and using large mess tents, when we're down in our gear store, because we're always lacking in light. So I said via BUYMEACOFFEE I'd buy stuff for the scouts, so I've bought two of these, and the other leaders are absolutely delighted with them. This is the 10,400 milliamp version. It's got USB in and out, so it performs as a power bank. There's three settings on warm light, and then another white light one, and then if we press and hold there, we get a torch on the bottom. There we go. If we press from the torch, we get a beacon feature. Now, the interesting thing about this is it's absolutely fantastic as a lantern to give a really good spread of light. So what I've decided to do is, we're on holiday here for a week in the holiday home in the Lake District, and I've decided to bring both of these things with me to see what use I could get. Now, this one's preordained the excellent use that we're going to get out of it, but the Fire Maple Sunflower, which they very kindly sent me, I'm not exactly sure how it'll kind of like fit. So I'm going to kind of like trial it this week, use it as a source of heat, do a bit of cooking, and just see how it works, just to kind of have it handy. If you fancy a bit of al fresco cooking, and you've got something that likes a nice slow cook, like some gorgeous local thick Cumberland sausages from a butcher's here in the Lake District, the Fire Maple Sunflower could be just the job. It weighs 818 grams, so this is no lightweight. The output is 1.8 kilowatts or 6,000 BTU. And the gas consumption is 156 grams per hour. So get some simple instructions, which I've read, and a really nice little hard case with a zip. This is the stove itself inside. I've already lit it, so there's a tiny bit of discoloration on the material there. And this looks like it's one of Fire Maple's pressure regulated stoves, valves, I beg your pardon. So this part here enables you to use it in like a tilted kind of heating setting, or you've got legs underneath to use as a stove. But if you'll notice underneath there as well, there's a tripod mount, so you can actually mount this on a tripod and change the angle as a heater. But now we're going to use it in just stove mode, so you simply connect some gas, in this case butane propane mix, get your lighter, and I would recommend this, the excellent Soto stick thing. Turn that on. There we go, that's lit now. Got to be careful because it's quite hard to see, but after a little while you'll see this kind of like starting to glow. See the metal on top there starting to glow nice and red. Can you see that? And all this ceramic plate underneath will start to glow. So theoretically it should be absolutely excellent for getting a nice spread of heat and cooking something slowly like sausages. Whilst those are cooking nicely, I'll show you what's on the rest of the box. It says, why sunflower gas camping stove, infrared radiation, heating and warming double function, simple and convenient maintenance, suitable for harsh environment. Well, on this lovely caravan site in the Lake District, it's not exactly harsh, but it's proving quite easy to use. Something I have noticed is that you've got to have it really flat, because those on the top are quite slippy really. Right, get a burger in there as well. Seems a nice spread of heat, but something I have noticed, since you can't see the flame, it's like any radiant stove, it's quite hard to turn down. You can see the bits of fat kind of firing there as they kind of like flick out. So that's down pretty low now, seems to be cooking like nice and gently, just as sausages should be cooked, slowly. Now I don't know what they mean by harsh environments, but perhaps it means if you get a little bit of side wind, it won't blow out. When I turn that up there, you can actually see it glowing a little bit more. And the sausages are just kicking off a little bit more. And if I turn it right down, the flame, I can hear the flame spluttering a little bit, so I'll just bring it back. Yeah, so that's a way of getting it really low. Just listen to the flame start to putter a little bit and turn it back, and that's cooking beautifully slow. And what I'll do in a bit is compare this to the Soto Stormbreaker on gas mode, and we'll see what kind of spread of flame we get. One thing is the stove, it's very quiet, which is nice. What I can do now when I've finished cooking my food is put it on the tilting radiant heat mode and enjoy a little bit of warmth from that. I'm not entirely in agreement that you should use a gas device for heating outside, but just for a few seconds, just to get yourself warm, why not? This looks great. Right, I'm just going to enjoy a nice coffee, and we'll just do the radiance test here with a little bit of water in the frying pan. See what kind of like spread we get there. We'll use the Soto Stormbreaker here on gas mode. Whoa! Good job that wasn't hot. That's up to the boil now. You can see the hot spot in the middle there. It's about the width of 3 or 4 fingers. And the Soto Stormbreaker has got a comparatively large head for most gas stoves. So let's try it now on the radiant stove. We'll turn the Stormbreaker off. I think suffice to say with the Fire Maple Sunflower, it's a gentle cooker. It's you know, slightly larger spread there, but there are more peripheral bubbles around this outside, so there's still a core hotspot, but it is a gentle heat and you are able to turn it down very slowly. But so for foods that require a gentle heat, I think it's an excellent little cooker. But the warmth off there is lovely. It's about 3 degrees out here and I'm quite chilled. The lunch was great, by the way. Should definitely turn this off before doing this, but the case around the outside there is okay to handle around these edges. And I'm just going to enjoy this little bit of heat to warm me up a little bit while I enjoy my coffee. Just wanted to show you quickly what you get with the lantern. Obviously there's the lantern itself. This little carabiner comes with it, so you've got a number of hanging options. You've just got the loop itself, the carabiner, and if you see in there, there's a tripod attachment as well. Interestingly, you'll see later, this stove's got a tripod attachment. This is the box itself, shows some of the uses there. It's Type-C charging, which is always great. It's waterproof, comes with a little nice soft velour bag, and in this is the USB-C charging cable and a little Krarus information leaflet, and of course instructions on use. So I'll take you over now to what kind of use I've had this week out of these devices. I think this light makes a great video fill-in light. I hope you've noticed. Let's see how we got on this week.
The Krarus lantern makes a great dog walking night, or when you want to illuminate things for a group. It even works well for a bit of trick-or-treating for your friendly local T-Rex. Arts and crafts it can be useful for a good directional light, or even carving out a surf pumpkin. And when you're camping and cooking outside, it makes a great light, and you can also see the heater in the middle there. But the heater really comes into its own for situations like this. This has to be a well ventilated area, but for a hot tent when you haven't got the stove on in the morning and you want to get moving, you've got a large space with a bit of condensation, that can be really helpful. But you could even use it for a little bit of impromptu cooking.
Right, I'm back at home now. It's several weeks later, and I just wanted to sum up really. And I've had a few uses out of the light, the Krarus CL2, and there's no doubt for me it's a large but extremely versatile light that you might like to keep in the car or at home for various uses. And I've bought two for the Scouts, and in fact now I've bought one for myself as well. It's that much of a keeper. The fire maple sunflower remains one of those things that's a really useful object with some caveats. So the things I really like about it is it's very well made. The carry case itself is very well made. It gives off great heat, albeit very directional, and it's a well-made object. In fact, in this unheated conservatory now, I want to put it on. There we go, and straight away I start to get a nice directional heat from that. The zone of that is pretty much in that kind of cone, so it's a fairly local and directional. And so it's a useful thing. Some of the cons are that every time you touch it, this plate at the top tends to flick off. It's not well held on at all. And that can get a little bit irritating. Plus the cooking surface at the top is quite slippy, as I've already illustrated. But it's a well-made thing, and it's something I'm going to keep around just for those uses where I think that's just a thing to heat. How else would you do that? Except, how about using a radiant gas cooker such as this one? And I know Fire Maple do one called the Mars that's got a much bigger head on this one, and that could be something that's generally useful to heat up a small space. Turn this off. So I hope you've enjoyed this video and seen the sunflower heater, and let me know if it's something that you might consider useful. Thanks for watching.